Should you judge a book by its cover? Maybe a better question is, since we know that most people do judge books by their covers, should we pay more attention to the cover? All right, the cover is actually how you dress, your personal style, and what that means for your self expression. So let's dig into it. Welcome to the Secret Formula of Femininity for women who want to live a more feminine, fun, and fabulous life. I'm Dr. Nicole Montero, your host on this weekly journey to unlocking your inner radiance, nurturing fulfilling relationships, and becoming the best version of yourself. Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is Dr. Nicole, and I'm your guide on this feminine journey. So, we're going to make it a little fun today, and we're going to talk about personal expression, personal style, and what that means for your femininity. And of course, there's always a deeper issue to this. So, don't worry, we're going to dig a little deeper, but let's have fun while we're doing it too. So I started off by asking, should you judge a book by its cover? But really, we need to kind of acknowledge that we do judge things by their outer appearance. Books are judged by their covers. That's why when something is being published, there's a lot put into developing the cover art, because it needs to strike the right chord and really evoke that emotion, that feeling, be appealing, and reflect what's inside the book. So probably a better question is, since we know that our outer appearance is basically the cover to our book, we don't want to just do all of the inner work and neglect the outward appearance. And really tapping into your personal style, your self-expression, your unique style is part of your femininity journey. It's a part of your expression of your femininity. I mean, that's one of the great things about being a woman, is that we have this wide array of styles and fashions and unique ways to express ourselves that, in the animal world, peacocks, the male species are the ones that are like showing off. But for humans, men show off too, but ladies, we get to show off a lot. So let's talk more about the personal style and what that means for how your outer appearance reflects your inner femininity. So, I always have a story, right? I was always someone with a very unique style. I just was always different as a child. Like people, my look, everything. But I always would get compliments even when I was like really little, like in middle school. And when I was little, people were like, oh, she's so adorable. But even in middle school, going into high school, I didn't necessarily wear what everyone else wore. And growing up in Philadelphia, there were a lot of styles like in the 80s and the 90s that, especially with hip hop culture and things like that were trendy. And a lot of that stuff my parents didn't let me get. They didn't want me always having name brand and things that they felt were expensive but didn't it was nonsense basically. So I had to early on have my own unique style that didn't necessarily go along with the trends. Like just because everybody, like when I was coming up, it was what bomber jackets, gazelle glasses, name belts, and all this stuff. And my parents were like, no, you're not getting that. So I always had to have my own unique sense of style, something that I felt represented me that also made me feel confident. But the thing is, of course, that's not always an easy road, right? Like you're a middle schooler, you're becoming an adolescent, you want to fit in. I always had that streak about me that I was attracted to people who were their own unique selves, who were a little bit off the beaten path. But I was definitely always into my own style, wanting to look good, knowing about grooming, always into skincare. My mom would tell you like I was always wearing masks and just doing stuff, especially when you're a teenager getting acne. Like I was always into those kinds of things, like beautification, even natural beauty approaches. So I was always valuing that idea of having your own unique personal style. But there were, of course, bumps along the road. And sometimes I did feel that pressure, especially as an adolescent, to want to fit in with the trends. And then even as I got to college, and there's times when you just want to fit in. But what I learned is that my uniqueness was my strength. And the more and more I just leaned into things that I liked, I noticed I would always get compliments. People would be drawn to me. Like, while everybody had those name belts when I was a teenager growing up, if I had a different type of belt, like with beads or something like that, people would notice and they would say, "Oh my God, that's so cute. Where'd you get that?" I remember one summer when I was in college, in undergrad, I did this summer program in Chicago. It was at the University of Chicago. We were there for 8 weeks. It was like a science and technology program. And I remember like some of my outfits because I remember packing for that experience. I knew I would be in Chicago for 2 months. And I was like, what am I going to wear? I remember kind of fretting over packing. And some of the things that I was the most unsure about were the things that I would constantly get compliments on. Things like accessories, a unique statement piece. And so that's how I understood that your own personal style, what makes you stand out, is really a reflection of that book inside of you, who you are inside. And so, me really being okay with not having to only do the trends. Now, we know that trends are going to impact us, right? That's part of what becomes available in the fashion world, and we're influenced by it because if we weren't, then we would all be wearing stuff from like 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. But there are some classic pieces, right? I learned that from my mom. My grandmom was a seamstress, and just being around other women, just learning the value of having some core classic pieces in your wardrobe. And then you can have some trendy things, have some things that reflect you and your own personal style. And all of that together, a little bit, just a little bit of fashion know how, your own personal style, understanding the trends and how much you want to play into them. All of that together is a reflection of your femininity. And so I've always been someone who, like, I've been traveling since the age of 13. And I've been like just in love with psychology, different cultures, things like that. So I was always looking at different cultures and how they use things like fabrics and colors, and the idea that there's like certain cultural activities or ceremonies where you wear certain things. And I was always intrigued by that. And so those were some of the things that, although they didn't always inform every fashion decision I made. They were just part of like how I thought about how I dressed, how I wanted to present myself. And then being a Muslim woman, modesty has always been important to me. But modesty, while for some people that might feel like it's a hindrance, it actually opens up a world of ways to express yourself with more free flowing types of fabrics, and leaning into more classic cuts and making sure you have good materials, looking at your accessories, what kind of scarves you have. So all of those things just became a part of my arsenal. Now, all of that was developing, but I wasn't consciously thinking about the impact of fashion and personal style and self expression through your fashion. I wasn't thinking about the impact of that on your inner self as well as your relationships. So we often hear like we have to work on the inside, and I definitely wholeheartedly agree. But imagine writing a beautiful novel. It's been edited, you've had all of the readers go through it, and it's just this amazing, amazing novel, right? The plot, the writing, the devices, everything about it. But you go to the bookstore, you put it on the bookstore with just a paper bag. Like when I was little, we used to have to cover our textbooks with a paper bag to protect them. What if you just had to go and put a paper bag on that beautiful novel in the midst of all of these other great book covers. Now, we don't know what's inside those books, but just imagine a shopper coming into the bookstore. They're looking at all of these beautiful covers that have been, you know, just really a lot of effort and time and expertise put into them. They may pick one of those even though the book might be trash. Like, they don't know, but they're depending on the cover to give them an attraction or at least a hint, a clue as to what might await them inside the book. It's the same with your appearance. Your appearance is the cover. Not only is it an expression of who you are, but it's a communication, right? We know that's why certain professions have uniforms. They need to know who you are. In all professions, whether it's a mom, you're a soccer mom, you're a professor, you're a stripper, right? Like, they all have their basic uniform and style of dress. So you need to understand, when you're putting on clothes, you're saying something, you're communicating something about yourself. It's not only the personal style and expression, but it's also communicating something. We judge everything from social class to even competence. There's tons of studies looking at how you're judged in interviews, in day-to-day interactions, look at trying to get on a flight. And we know that there are differences in terms of race and ethnicity about this, right? I was talking to a colleague who was like, a lot of times white professors get away with coming with the ripped up clothes and things like that, and especially a white male professor, and their competence is not questioned. Whereas if you are a woman of color, you're a black woman, you're of another background, then you're going to be judged more in terms of professionalism, in terms of how you dress. So, yes, that is true. But overall, we cannot negate the fact, we can't deny that when you are dressing, when you are going out, you are communicating something about how you see yourself and where you see yourself fitting in, either in terms of a social group, a cultural group, or whatever. And then the other part for us ladies is this also the personal style. It's an expression of our inner femininity. So, what is style and self-expression? It is literally a unique combination of your clothing, your accessories, your grooming, and these things reflect your personality, your values, and also just your inner self, your inner essence. Self expression is so important because it is a way that you convey, you're communicating your true self through various outer forms of your appearance. So you're sharing more about who you are inside through a method that a lot of people, that first impression they have is what they see. So when you really embrace that instead of fighting against it, right? Your personal style is about aligning your outer appearance with your inner essence. And for ladies, your inner femininity. This allows you to present yourself authentically and hopefully comfortably to the world. There's so many benefits to this. You get to boost your self-esteem, right? You feel good on the outside. That's going to help you feel good on the inside. Now, we know that if you focus too much on the outer, right? A lot of people, they don't even know how to express or feel comfortable with their own unique style, their own who they are, their own beauty. So they spend so much time and money trying to look like everybody else. And I love that saying, stop trying to be somebody else. That person is already taken. You can only be the best version of yourself. So you're spending so much trying to be a carbon copy of somebody else. Like when I hear people trying to change their entire appearance, their features, everything about their body because they don't feel they're worthy and they want to be like everybody else. That is, you need to take a step back, right? Because I cannot tell you how many women that I've actually worked with who thought that getting that one surgery or that one procedure was what was standing between their current state of not feeling good about themselves and the state they wanted to be in, which was happiness, confidence, and so forth. But it was the biggest letdown when they found out that that procedure, that surgery, or whatever, that one thing they were banking on, that didn't change anything because they were only focusing on that outer thing without doing the inner work. It's like having a beautiful book cover or working on improving the book cover, and you never really wrote the novel or had it edited or went through the process of making it a really good novel. So we need both of them. But being comfortable tapping into your own personal, unique style is a great way to start to boost confidence. And, in one of the episodes, I talked about confidence and self esteem. Self esteem is that inner sense of your worth, but confidence is that outer expression of it. And so when you can really take some time to focus on your personal style, your unique personal style, you will actually start to feel more comfortable. And also, when you are able to align your outer appearance with your inner self, that also it reciprocates into your self-esteem. So your self-esteem boosts your confidence can boost your self-esteem. They work together. Also, when you can really take some time out, and I do recommend doing the style quizzes, doing your style boards on Pinterest, even working with a personal stylist, which I am going to have. It's a surprise. I have an interview coming up with a stylist, um, a personal brand expert about how to just really understand what your style is, where you are at this point in your life, how you want to dress, and how that can really help you to feel more authentic, like you're walking in your authentic self. And it also actually strengthens your relationships. Because here's the thing, when you're feeling more confident and more authentic, you're showing up as your best self. You become an attractive, you become a magnet for healthy people or people who want to be healthy, right? When you're down and out and you're feeling low, you're walking with your head down, you feel like you're not good enough. Like all of these things play into how you present yourself. And people who are manipulative or who might want to take advantage of you or don't have your best interests at heart, they are looking for you to feel at your lowest. They are looking for you to not feel good about yourself or to feel like you're not measuring up or not knowing who you are. That's what they're looking for. So, honestly, you attract healthy relationships, ladies. If you are dating, make sure you are tapped into your personal style. Notice I didn't just say look good, right? I mean, really know what you like and what looks good on you. That is going to make you very attractive on a holistic level. So there's tons and tons of research about how really tapping into your personal style and expressing yourself through your personal fashion sense. It does things like it improves your self-perception, like how you see yourself. And that translates into showing up more confidently. It actually does improve relationship satisfaction because you are feeling more attractive. See, attraction, it's not just what someone else sees in you. It's almost like an energy that draws people to you. So if you could be the prettiest person, you know, by other people's opinions in the room, but if you're not feeling attractive, the way you show up is actually going to repel or push away the healthy people, the healthy men in the room, so to speak. So when you are more tapped into feeling good about how you groom, your personal expression, your own fashion sense, that is going to help you to feel more attractive. And when you feel more attractive, that increases relationship satisfaction. Tons and tons of research about it's not body composition or whether you have this makeup or that leads to a satisfying relationship. It's how you feel about yourself. Now, if there are things that you're not feeling good about yourself, the things you can control, like if you feel like you want to lose weight or build more muscle. You can actually exercise. You can actually change your diet. You can actually go out and do things that make you feel invigorated and have more energy. And those things are going to help you to feel more attractive. And the more attractive you feel, right? There were some experiments. One looked at what makes you feel more confident and authentic. And so when you start to really take some time out to wear clothes that feel comfortable to you, that you feel look good on you, then you start to show up differently. And that is very contagious. Like when you feel attractive, it makes other people feel attracted to you. We are like that as humans. Like we're social beings. So we look to what other people are doing or how they're responding to give a cue to how we should respond. So if you're out here like feeling confident, and I don't mean like false overcompensating, but like truly grounded in your confidence and feeling attractive and good about yourself, that is going to give the cue to your partner like, wait, there is something attractive about her, right? It is really contagious. And when you feel more desired, that leads to a greater sense of satisfaction in your relationship. Also, positive self image is associated with your overall well being, including your emotional well being. So, when you are able to feel like you are worthy, not just inside, but you can hold your own out there with everybody else, then that helps you again to feel more confident interacting with people and so forth. And then again, the more authentic you are. This is why I call it not just having a feminine fashion sense, but it's really about your own self-expression. Finding things that you feel good in, finding things that a few pieces that are accessories that express who you are, having some of those classic pieces, some good uh, material, right? You want to have like a white button up cotton shirt, for example, if you want to go that route. But looking at materials, linen, do you have any wool pieces for winter, right? Do you have a great pair of boots or shoes or heels or that classic dress, a few key pieces. And then from there, you also want to have your accessories. But all of that helps you to feel like, hey, this is me, right? A lot of times when I walk in, people are like, Nicole, I knew that was you. Right? I had just the kind of earrings I wear. I love having sunglasses, scarves, certain types of dresses, and so forth. So let's talk about how you can tap into your personal style. First, you want to look at like take notice. That's key. Number one, the key is take notice. Notice and observe what you like. When you see a woman that you admire, like notice, like, what is it that I liked? How did she put that together? Was it the accessories? Was it like she had some classic pieces? Was it the colors? Start to go on Pinterest. Take one of those fashion quizzes. Also, prioritize comfort and confidence, especially in your everyday wear. You don't want to have to wear things that you're going to feel like they don't make you feel good in your body because that's a horrible feeling. Also, use your appearance to express your true self. Don't be afraid to showcase things that are unique about your personality. I know I've said unique about already maybe 50 times so far in this episode because that is the key. That is the key. You are your unique self, and you're using your style, your fashion to express that, right? You've got to start there. The other thing is invest in self-care routines that are going to complement how you're dressing. So focus on your skin. Get a good skincare routine. I can't say enough about that. And I have somebody that's going to come talk about that as well. Your grooming practices. Do you need to get your hair cut? How do you take care of your nails? Are you making sure that you are moisturizing your lips? Are you, ladies, what are we doing with our eyebrows? All of these things are little things. They can seem like little things, but really having a routine around them is one of the best things you can do for yourself because it makes you to feel more confident. Also, continue to look for inspiration. So once you get a sense of your style, you can take a style quiz, and I'm going to put a link in the show notes. You can also go deeper. Look at some of the fashion magazines. Like look at who inspires you. Is it even this is when I think it's great to look at celebrities. They will come and put mix and match anything, but they come out like, "Hey, I know I'm the ish," right? It's that confidence. But you can look to people that inspire you. Look to them for inspiration. Again, I suggest you keep different Pinterest boards for, like, fun fashion that you love. What are some classic pieces you want? What are ways to look more feminine? Keep different ways that you're collecting inspiration and things that help you to know more of what you like. And you can even look at fashion and style blogs. The key is look at what inspires you, not to copy or duplicate it, but to allow it to, you can incorporate it and make it your own. All right. So I want to answer a couple of questions. One person said, "How can I develop my personal style? I don't know where to start." Like, I literally don't know where to start. So I kind of address some of that with the tips. First is start exploring different styles and identifying what resonates with you. Do you like a boho style? Are you more a free spirit? Do you like the classic flowy feminine? Do you like my daughter is like, she loves everything pink. She calls, and then kawaii, which is like this cute Japanese style, right? Like, look and see if there's a theme or a style that you just like that you're drawn to. Again, take time. The key is not to feel like it's a waste of time, but know that it's a good way to spend your time, to be able to look at what you like and what feels good to you. So get that inspiration and then start playing around with it. Start to change your accessories. Start to try to have a signature piece that, you can see, like, people notice it or people tend to like how that looks on you. And then you can also make sure while you're doing all this, focus on your skincare, taking care of your hair, all of these things. Okay. So just start little by little. Take notice of what you like, what feels good on you, and what seems to be uniquely a reflection of your style. Okay? Question number 2 is, can focusing too much on appearance be detrimental to my self esteem? I love this, right? Because you're thinking about that whole inner and outer. And of course, the core has to be the self esteem. So many people are wearing an outer mask and they're not feeling good about themselves. They have the pretty book cover, but the novel is empty. It's full of empty pages or pages that are ripped up and just not in good shape. That is not at all what we want, right? While it's important to feel good about your appearance, and they go hand in hand, it's equally important, if not more, to really focus on your inner self, making sure you're in a good emotional space, making sure that you are self aware, you're reflecting on your experiences, how they've impacted you, what traumas you might still be carrying around. Because sometimes, we carry these traumas. We might think we look good, but it just comes out in how we look, our aura, our energy, how we interact. So you definitely want to prioritize or make sure you focus on inner growth and self acceptance. True beauty really does come from within, but don't be so serious, right? I always talk to my ladies and they're like, they get this kind of woke, self righteous. A lot of also my Muslim sisters is like, I gotta look drab, I gotta look down. And that's how I show my piousness. And that is absolutely, it doesn't have to be the case. We get to be fun, we get to be fabulous, we get to feel good about how we look. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you're superficial. It doesn't mean you're not doing the inner work. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that you also want to have fun, be fabulous, and look great. And it is also part of how you're expressing yourself. I hope that answered your question. If you have found today's discussion on style and self expression inspiring and actionable, make sure you share this episode, you give us a rating. And if you want to go deeper into how your personal style, your personal self expression helps you in your relationship, I go into this in my book, The Boundaries to Bliss Blueprint for Women Who Are Finally Ready to Win at Love. It has a lot of practical advice as well as my 7-step process for attracting healthy love and maintaining healthy love. If you have enjoyed this episode, I am so glad. Nothing makes me happier. Don't forget, if you have a question, you can send me a message and I will add your question to the list of questions that I will answer in future episodes. Until next time, make sure you embrace your inner power, nurture your spirit, and let your feminine essence shine. I'll see you in the next episode. This is Dr. Nicole.